Hello, and now we're live. Hello, everyone. Hello. Now you can hear me. Hopefully, there's been so much issues, so much. I don't know what to do with this thingy. Hello. Yeah, freaking camera, computer broke. Man, lots of issues. Is anybody still here? Hey, Felipe, what's up, Felipe? Thank you for being here, man. Let me put this chat over here. Hello, the Aquarian Space. That's a nice name, eh? I guess. No, I don't want to do that. Alright, so I'm back. Sorry for the delay. My computer decided to broke just yesterday, actually. And then everything started to break. Not Houdini. Linux just broke. Houdini. Not Houdini. I keep saying Houdini for everything. Hey, Nick, what's up, man? What's up? I sent you a message, Nick. Please respond, dude. I sent you a message. I need you to let me know when we are doing your class. Hello, everyone. Man, it's been so weird. Hello. Anybody hear me okay? Is the volume loud enough? Hello. Alright, that's pretty loud. Hello. Hey, Nick, and Igor, and I don't know how you say your Russian name. I'm pretty sure that's Russian. But I don't know how to say it, but hello. I said Nikolai Voitovich? Voitovich, maybe? I don't know. Just made it up. Alright, so what's up, everyone? How are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy now that my website it's out. Yeah, I got it, Nikolai. Nick. We have two Nicks here. One from America and one from Russia. It's cool. So if any of you guys haven't seen, we launched a new website. Let me get my big face out of the way. We launched a new website. You can see it there. We have a new amazing training. Two new titles here. And a few others for free. Here we have these two guys. And we have some other titles for free that I compiled from the old titles. You can see the project manager, we made it on YouTube. And I put it here. And the Pixelator is another one. I will bring in the new one from, the old one, the Michael Fire Effects. I will make it a curse here as well. Maybe later this week, or maybe next week actually. And so yeah, if you guys want to support us, let's go to the page and buy our courses. That will help us make more, for sure. And how about that Houdini preview, eh? Hey Mix, this is Nipuna. What's up? Welcome, Nipuna. Or Nipuna. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here because oh man, it's been hard. So first I'm peeking now. Let me reduce the filter because I'm screaming. Reduce the gain a little bit. Woo! Alright. So first I wanted to put the stream later for me because this time the other guy that works for me, it's gone, and he's a little bit shy, so doesn't like when I'm live streaming. So it's better for me, and also he's maybe asking me stuff about work, and I get distracted, or he needs something. So I decided to put this stream a little bit later. This is gonna be the new time for the streams. Some people it thinks it's too late for them. For some it's too for some it's too early, but it's gonna be the time that's gonna work for me. I am sorry, I guess. Yeah. All right, so I don't have a topic for today. So what about that Houdini 15? I mean, no, not that. What about that Houdini 16.5 sneak preview? Have you guys all seen that? Freaking amazing, eh? I spoke like a real Canadian. Hey, Mario Man. Mario Man, that's a nice name. Mario Man. What's up, Mario Man? Let's put my Houdini window where it needs to be. It's a little bit too big. So yeah, you all guys all seen that preview? That sneak peek for Houdini? It's looking pretty good, eh? It's looking pretty good. All that character animation stuff, it's awesome. Yeah, I can't talk about stuff, and I've been on the beta for a while, and there's some things that I haven't even tried on the beta that are on the sneak peek. She's pretty good, pretty amazing. I'm really enjoying this version of Houdini that's coming up really soon. They say, right? They said really soon. Blah 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 blah. They don't say here. They don't say here, but I think in Facebook they said it's gonna be coming soon. And yeah, there's a bunch of amazing stuff there. Yeah, I watched it already like 3 times. It's like pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. So guys, I don't have a topic for today. If you want any stuff, let me know and I can show you whatever you want right now. So if not, I wanted to do some work on groups and explain a little bit about groups. If you want me to do that, Kevin, November 7th? Who said that? Somebody said that, because that's pretty important to me. I didn't see that. They posted that on Facebook or something? November 7th, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's like, what? 2 weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks. Alright. I need to prepare stuff. Prepare stuff. There's a question. Let me bring that thing back. Did I close the other window? No, it's here. So yes, this course on understanding fluid solvers. It's all about the math behind the fluid solvers. That's why it's called understanding fluid solvers. Because you will understand all the math behind behind what makes a fluid solver work. So yes, you can see if I log in, you can see the topics here. But yeah, you can see it's chapter 1. It's all about differential calculus. How do you say that? Integral calculus and more math about multivariables and stuff. Gradients, divergence, curl noise, Laplacian, and all that stuff. You're gonna learn all the math behind that. So yeah, it's universal concepts. You can apply them to Houdini. You can apply them to Maya. You can apply them to games. you can apply them to your own solver, or you can apply them to whatever. So yeah, it's math for everything. And as the requirement said, you need a preparatory grade math. Should be enough, says Anas there. So yeah, it's universal math for everything, but focused on fluid solvers. The squirrel render on my PC. Did you make that render, Nikolai? Nick? That I love the squirrel. I love squirrels. Squirrels are amazing. I love squirrels, and when I saw that squirrel, I was like, oh my god, that squirrel! It's so amazing. I want to make a squirrel now. I want to make a freaking squirrel. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Freaking squirrel. Look at that. It looks pretty amazing. Freaking squirrel, man. I want to make a squirrel. Only rendered? I was thinking, but where do you work? Who made that squirrel? Who is the do you work at a studio that make the squirrel? Cause here, let's say, go procedural. Hate this new Vimeo thingy. Doesn't say here the date, is it? Is it the same one I have open here? Somebody said in the comments, maybe? November? No, doesn't say. Doesn't say here. Oh yeah, I use Wacom for my. I don't use it when I'm streaming because this microphone is on the way, and I hit it with the pen. Although I have this this microphone stand that it's you can kind of see it. Let me move it a little bit. Oh, that's gonna sound weird. You can't actually see it. Oh, there we go. I have a stand that it's raised. Let me put this back where it should be. But still, I sometimes hit it with the pen, so I just use the mouse when I'm streaming, so I don't hit it with the pen. And yeah, I use this guy. It's not super new. This is my Wacom tablet here. It's really reflective. So it's the Intuos 5 Touch. It's the small one. It's the small one. It does have the capability to make it wireless. Has some stuff to make it wireless, which I don't know if I actually want to. If I use this to, if I move it a lot, if I was carrying it on my laptop bag or something like that, I would made it wireless. That would be better. And for the buttons, I hate the original configuration for buttons. I think this is gonna be the bottom one. It's just click, or left click on your mouse. Then I put left click on the middle mouse and middle click on the top one. That's how I use this. So it's basically a three buttons mouse here, and that's how I use it in Houdini. You can see. Let me put my tablet over here pretty quickly. So it should be configured right now. Yeah, it's not configured because my Windows, my the computer broke, and I just installed freaking Linux again. But I have a script that does it for me. Right, so I have right click on the middle button, which is this one here. This one is right click, and this one is middle click. This is just normal click, and that's how I use it. By default in Linux, these ones are reverse, and I think in Windows this one is double click and this is right click or something. I never have it as default, so I have this as click, and then it's left click and middle click on the top. That's how I use my pen, and I can use Houdini really cool with this. You can see I use it all the time, most of the time. Sometimes I get tired, but yeah, that's how I use it. And you can really quickly move in the viewport and all that stuff. I started using a Wacom tablet because I broke this arm actually 3 times. I have broken this arm 3 times. One time I broke one of the bones, then I broke the other one, and then the third time I broke both from about here. I can actually feel the where it broke. I think it's about here where it broke. So I started using the Wacom tablet because my arm is not totally straight. I have it like a little bit. I have like a hard time doing this. So it's not totally straight. So my arm it's better in this position, like having my hand like this, having it like this. So I started using a pen because I was getting too tired with the mouse, and I asked at my first studio, can I use a Wacom tablet, and they bought me one, and then I was really comfortable, and then I just started using Wacom tablets from there. I just used them a lot because of my work, of my arm actually. So that's why I started using the Wacom tablet a lot. So sorry for that, I hit the mic. That's why I'm not using it with this. But yeah, that's how I use the tablet, and I use it in Houdini. I use it for everything. So there you go, Justin. That's how I have it. I don't use any of these guys. Like I know this tablet has keys here. All these guys, I don't use them at all. I don't use them. And this one is actually touch, and I disable touch every time. I don't use the touchpad here or any of those buttons. I don't use them. I've never found a use for those. I think that people that draw more find it easy to just make it like shift or something and scrolling or something. But I don't have. It's not comfortable for me for being like in the tablet pressing stuff. I'm more comfortable having my one hand in the keyboard and the other one in the tablet. So yeah. Nipuna saying importing objects from 3ds Max with multiple material IDs, and how to set up in Houdini with Redshift. Okay. All right. So, importing stuff from other applications is always difficult, but it's not really bad. So if you import stuff as I don't recommend, like, if you shade everything in 3ds Max just to expect that that's gonna look beautiful in Houdini. There are 2 different applications, 2 different ways of applying shaders and stuff. But if you export your models in FBX, it will import materials, and it will create FBX materials in Houdini, and you can just replace those if you need to. You will need to, if you want to do it for Redshift, you will need to actually replace those materials. If you want to set up, YouTube. If you don't know how to set up Redshift with Houdini, I made a tutorial for Redshift actually. Redshift 3D. So let's see. Here's the Redshift channel. In the YouTube channel for Redshift, there is a tutorial that I made for setting up Redshift in Houdini. Let's see, where is it? Maybe playlist. There's no playlist for that. There is one. Here it is. Houdini introduction. It's called. So I made this tutorial for the Redshift guys. You see, there's my name there. It's about 8 minutes, but it shows you how to set up everything from installing, downloading Redshift, installing it in Houdini, and all that stuff. So if you wanna know how to set up Redshift with Houdini, you need to see that tutorial. Pretty cool. I made it, but it's still pretty cool. Can I offer a special price on Black Friday? I don't think so. I'm sorry, but I don't really believe in sales and stuff. So maybe, but I don't. If I ever do a sale of tutorials, it's not gonna be like super huge discounts. So don't wait for the sale, just buy them, because it might never happen. I'm sorry, but I think the tutorials are really cheap for the amount of information you're getting. Alright. The Aquarius says that what distro of Linux I use. I'm using Linux Mint, which is a distro that I like a lot. But I was using, just yesterday, I was using CentOS because it's more of a stable distribution, let's say, and it's what everyone uses for developing Houdini and stuff like that. I'm using Linux Mint now. I'm trying something different. I might or might not stay with this. I was having some issues in my hardware with when I put the computer to sleep. I was having issues waking it up. But I solved that yesterday, and I'm using Linux Mint now. I do recommend Linux Mint or Ubuntu for if you are new to Linux. This is Linux Mint. It's pretty cool. It looks pretty amazing. It has a lot of stuff in it. I use the KDE version just because I like KDE better. So if you go here, you can see there should be the KDE version. It's kind of hidden, but I like that KDE version better because I love KDE. But any of the other ones are really great. But yeah, or just Ubuntu. Ubuntu, it's really amazing as well. It's pretty simple to start with, and it works everywhere. Installing Houdini, it's really simple. You just run a script and you install it. It's we can actually let's do that. No, I was going to do something that I can't do. Let me see. I should have a version of Houdini here. And so it's really simple to install in Linux. You can see there's this is the version that I already have. But I can let's install this old one. So you just unpack the folder here. Let me make this icons a little bit bigger maybe. You unpack this folder, and then you what I do is just open a terminal here. You can there's a few ways to open a terminal in Houdini. I mean in this in your whatever. What do I have to? In whatever your environment you're using. For KDE, I just press Shift F4. it will bring a terminal with that thing in that folder. So let me make the font a bit bigger. All right, so once you're there, you have this Houdini install script, and you just run that, like sudo Houdini install. Can you guys see that? I guess you can. It's pretty big. And then you just do that, sudo Houdini install, and then I press enter. I type my password. Then it's gonna tell you about the licensing agreements and all that stuff. I say yes. And then here you choose what you want to install. You can say Houdini is gonna be installed, desktop menus is gonna be installed. If you want to sim link it, you just press 3 to activate it, 3 to deactivate it. Again, like if I press 3, it's gonna enable that. If I press 3 again, it's gonna disable that. If you want to install the licensing, let's not install it for now. Oh, I don't want to install 6, let's say. You can install the Houdini engine for Maya, for Houdini, for Unity. Then you can press F, and then it's gonna tell you that you wanna install that. Say yes, and that's it. That's all the amount of installing you need to do in Linux. That's it. It's pretty simple. It's just gonna wait here. You're gonna wait, and then it's gonna finish installing really quickly. It's gonna install any minute. It's gonna end. It installs so much faster than any other system. Like, it's done. In Windows, if you install it, it takes forever to install in Windows. And then it's done. That's Houdini. Then you just run Houdini, and it starts running Houdini. Or you click the icon that it creates on your menu. However you want to do that. But that's how you install it in Houdini. It's in Linux. It's pretty simple. Justin has Intuos 3. Yeah, it works. I don't think material like these go from Houdini, from Max to Houdini. I don't know. But if you import like an OBJ, it will have the groups there. You can use groups to apply the shaders. I don't know. It's a special case for you, I guess. Kevin says, "What's my renderer these days?" I use whatever it's up to the project. I have RenderMan because I work with them actually. Well, I don't work for Pixar, but I work for them doing tutorials. And I'm preparing more tutorials for RenderMan. I love Redshift because it's pretty fast for my work on my freelance work. It's pretty fast for that. It gives me a lot of cool, fast response for what I need to do in freelancing. And I use Mantra as well, and for all the stuff that I did for the movie Jumanji was rendering Mantra. we render some stuff in Arnold, and some stuff we render in Mantra directly. It's pretty cool. But yeah, if it's pretty fast, I'll just do it in. If it's like a really short time frame for the deadline, I just use Redshift. If it's something that I want to get a specific look, I just go for RenderMan or Mantra. Hey Dova Diaz, what's up? I'm glad you're here. First time. I think there's 2 people that are too much. First timers here, which is pretty cool. Dova Diaz says, "What do I recommend if you want to learn Houdini almost 100%?" I don't think anyone knows Houdini 100%. Not even the developers know Houdini 100%. So I don't think that's possible. If you want to learn a lot about Houdini, just go to the help. Then open the help, go to help content. It's gonna open the Houdini help, and you can learn from here a bunch of stuff. But if you want to be an effects TD, then you need to do projects. Apart from just reading about Houdini, do projects. Do a bunch of projects. Do examples of animation. Do examples of of explosions, of effects, or of stuff like that. Do exercises. Put yourself in the position of what you want to be. Like, I want to do effects for a movie. Just take your phone, or if you have a nice camera, use it, or take your phone, film something, bring it to the computer, add effects to it. That will give you the sense of what you're gonna be working in a studio or something like that. But that will develop you a lot. So don't just try to learn everything, because nobody's gonna tell you how much of Houdini do you know. 80%, 60%. You know 100% of it. Oh, you're higher. That's not gonna happen. People are gonna see you real, see how good or how well you, I guess, how you feel in an interview. If you're not an asshole or whatever. If you're just a relaxed person, or someone that it's good, that feels good to work with, and if you have a nice examples, people are gonna hire you. They are not gonna ask you how much of Houdini do you know. Those things can be taught, but if you're not a easygoing person, that's what I wanted to say. Easygoing, or you're not driven to learn and stuff like that, it will be hard for people to hire you. Monel Cole, hello. Oh, hello. What's up, Monel? You want to master Houdini? I want to master Houdini as well. Been trying to master it for the last 15 or so years. Don't focus on mastering Houdini. Focus on doing stuff. Focus on results. It's not that important to master the tools, but to be able to solve stuff. TDs especially are people that are gonna be solving a lot of stuff. Like, if you are an effects artist, let's say a supervisor is gonna come and is gonna tell you, you know what, do this effect like this and that and this. This is what the director wants. This is what I want. Do it like this and that, and then you're gonna solve that. But it's gonna just tell you what you're gonna do essentially. If you are a TD, then there's gonna be things that, all right, you know what? If I'm the TD now, somebody else is gonna come, the supervisor or the director or whatever, is gonna tell me, there's this thing we need to solve. You know, the director wants an airplane that crashes that explodes in the air, splits into 2.5 pieces exactly, and we need then to zoom into it really quickly, see some people, zoom out of it again, and see this humongous explosion. And you need to solve that. You need to make a pipeline for that. You need to help the artist achieve that. And the TD, it's gonna have to solve that stuff. It's gonna say, all right, I want to develop this tool in Houdini to help the artist or I'm gonna tell them to do it this way or that way, because it's gonna be too big. If it's gonna be done in one shot, let's do one explosion for the open shot, and then another one for the detail shot when the camera zooms in, and then something like that. So the TD is gonna be somebody that's gonna be solving stuff. You're gonna have to solve stuff, giving solutions, or maybe even doing tools. So do that already. Do that. Start doing that. Start learning stuff, but practice a lot. You want to use CentOS? It's a RAM, and if you want to use CentOS, that's good. Mint is basically Ubuntu with some other things added and removed. They removed a lot of stuff about Ubuntu, and they call it the bloatware or whatever. But they add some other stuff which is pretty cool. Mint, it's pretty mint actually. It's really pretty mint. It's good. I like it. I'm gonna test it a few weeks if it's responding all right. I'm gonna keep it. So far, it's doing cool. It had my the latest NVIDIA drivers right out of the box for me that I could install it. So that worked for me really cool. Really cool. What's the best hardware for Houdini render and simulation? All right. So this question, it's like everybody's asking that, but the best hardware for simulation and rendering, sorry, is get the fastest processor you can and get as much RAM as you can, get the fastest hard drives that you can, and install everything on Linux. If that's what, if you want the best, don't do it on Windows or don't do it on Mac. I can't recommend those for hard working like rendering and simulation. I can only recommend Linux because of the experience I have with Linux, and Linux for rendering and simulation, it's the best option. It handles your hardware better than any other system, and it's gonna give you more out of your hardware. So the faster processor you can, if you wanna buy a single core, a single processor machine, buy the new one, the i9 or one of the AMD Riser processors. I said called Threadripper or something. One of those processors that it's pretty huge. More processors, faster simulation, faster renders. That's it. RAM, for you need a lot of RAM for simulations. Big simulations takes a lot of RAM. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM in my computer and it works pretty well. Sometimes I do run out of memory, but it's pretty rare. And if I do, I just try to manage it to not go out of RAM. But in some studios, I always ask for 128 gigabytes, which is, it's like a luxury actually. 128 gigabytes, it's a lot of memory. But yeah, you need that for simulation mostly. For rendering, it's not gonna take that amount of memory. And the drives, the hard drives get fast SSDs. If you get fast SSDs, that solid state drives, you're gonna write faster to the disk and you're gonna read faster to it. So it's gonna cycle faster. If you are writing a simulation to this, it's gonna write faster. If you're reading the simulation for rendering, it's gonna read faster from disk, and then it's gonna start rendering faster. And if you have enough RAM, it's gonna load faster to RAM. So that's what I recommend. If you want to go for the dual processor, I got, like, my machine has two Xeon processors, each one with 16 threads. So at the end I have like 32 threads and 64 gigabytes of RAM. I don't have an SSD for simulations, but it's fine. I like what I have, and that's it. Buy that hardware. All right, Dova. Good night. Tupac says that VRAM is more important. Well, video RAM, it's video RAM is just when you're working. So you don't use that much for rendering or simulation. You can use some video RAM for calculating, like OpenCL stuff, but it's not that important for rendering and simulation. Of course, if you can buy a video card that it's pretty cool, that has a lot of RAM, then use that, buy it, and it will be, Houdini will be super cool. And, my my motherboard is this one. If you want to know, that's my motherboard. That's what it's called. Does it make sense to do GPU and CPU rendering in a render farm? Well, it only makes sense if you're gonna use it. That might seem stupid, but that's if you're gonna use the GPU and the CPU, then it makes sense. But if you are gonna use if you're gonna use Mantra for rendering, there's no use for the GPU there. If you're gonna use Redshift, then there's no use for the CPU there, just for the GPU. If you're gonna use B-Ray, I think B-Ray, the newest version of B-Ray, uses both CPU and GPU. So if you're gonna use it, then it makes sense. But if you're not, then it doesn't. That's it. If you're gonna use it, do it. But if not, then it doesn't. Alright, so how are we been here? 43 minutes already? Man, I've been talking like crazy, right? 42 minutes, yeah. Shoot. Alright, so let's do. It's the B-Ray for Houdini? Yes, it is. There is. I think it's still in development, but there is a B-Ray for Houdini. I have it here. I can show you this guy is the dongle I have for B-Ray. I don't use it as much. There you go. That's B-Ray. That's my dongle for B-Ray. Plug it in. But yeah, there is a B-Ray for Houdini. You need to talk to Chaos Group to give you access, I think. But this is the project. You can see it's in GitHub actually. B-Ray for Houdini. There it is. You can build it from source, but there's already builds of this if you want to go for the nightlies. I'm not signing right now, but yeah, you can download Houdini the B-Ray version for Houdini. So I'm not sure how complete it is, but there's people already using it. All right, so let's just talk a little bit before we move on or just finish. I'm gonna talk a little bit about groups, and some people don't know about this stuff. So let's just talk about a little bit of groups. Justin is saying that if projects saving Windows will run in Linux too. Yes, they will run. There's nothing special about a project done in Linux or Windows or Mac. It's the same project. The only thing that could break is if you have something specific to a folder. That's why you should be using your job or your heap variables. Let's talk about that actually. That's a really nice point. So you can see I'm gonna create a project here. Okay, I have it here, but I'm gonna create, this is the same menu you guys should have over here. I just moved it over here at the top. So let's create a new project. This is really important to actually to do. Like, let's pick a folder somewhere. Let me go over here. I guess there's no point hiding it anymore. There we go. Mix training. I'm gonna put a folder here. I'm gonna select that. So what I always do is just, I don't want this. I just want to make a folder here. Let's call this my awesome. Why is this moving up? Why is this moving up? Awesome project. So I'm just creating a project. So what's gonna happen when I create a project, it says here, the job variable will be set to this path. All right. So let's just accept that. And it says here at the bottom as well that the job variable was set to that place. So let's go to the edit and aliases and variables. And it brings this window here. And in the variables tab, you can see there's a job variable here that is set to that path. And if we go in, if we open that folder, let me just copy this thing. So what happened here is it created this folder. Where is here? No, here. It's a folder, and you go inside the folder. There's all the folders that Houdini wanted to create here. All these folders. Just created one folder for this. You can rename this to whatever. It's just folders. Doesn't have any specific thingy. But now the job variable points here. Also, the heap variable is gonna be pointing to wherever, whenever the file, whatever the file is. So what people do, let's say, let's open that folder again because I closed it. So what you can do to don't have issues, to not have issues when you're moving projects around, or if you're working in different systems, which I do and some people do, or you're gonna be sending projects to somebody else. Let me find this. Let me put some texture there. Lamp project. Should be some textures here. Nope. That's a folder that it doesn't have anything. Actually, I'm gonna delete that one. Vex. Fuck. Thing. Let me just find a texture to show you something, because whatever texture it is, let's go to the folder. What was that thingy? Oh, mix training here. All right, my awesome project. I'm gonna put it in the texture folder. All right. So when I have, let's make a grid, and I have I'm gonna make a material for that. It's the principal shader, and I'm gonna assign that texture here. Instead of going directly to the path of the material, like going here and say, and going to my awesome project texture, that one, instead of doing it like that and having an absolute path to the file, what you can do is actually press here the job variable. It will take you to that folder, and then you can just select the texture there, and it will have this file path here. So when you go to another computer, it's gonna work because you just need to set the job variable, whatever the folder is, and then it's gonna work. Everything's gonna work inside Houdini after you do that. UV project down. You can see the texture is there. It's working. So when I move this somewhere else, the only thing I need to do is just set the job variable here to whatever the folder is, and everything's gonna work. So that's how you do that stuff, right? Also, you could also use the hip variable. Like some people like me like the hip variable. Like if you press hip here, it's gonna say whatever this file is saved, but right now the file is not saved, so let's save it there wherever my job folder is set. So let's call it texture. And now I can actually go here and say press hip, and wherever my file is saved, which is gonna be here, go to texture and use that. So now it's relative to the file that I have open, and that it's something that I use a lot for this. So whatever this file is, just go to the texture folder and load that. So if you don't want to have issues, just do this. And in studios, it's really useful to do this because people might not have the right paths or so whatever. So just doing this will save you a lot of time and issues. All right. Are there any more questions? I think I have a big issue that I need to fix. Damn it. Hate it when bad things happen. Are there any questions, guys? Because I need to finish this for today. It's really late, so. Any questions before we wrap this up? Any questions? I'm really excited about Houdini 16.5. Gonna be cool. Gonna be cool. Let's see, there's a question. I'm not sure about the license, Justin. I'm sorry, but I think you can just use it in both, maybe. I don't know. You need to talk to side effects. I don't use my license in Linux and Windows. I'm not sure what the thing what's the deal there. Can we use the dollar bar in value or transform or scale or rotate instead of number value? I don't understand the question completely. Back, can you please ask the question differently? I don't understand what the dollar variable is. What's the layout that I'm using? The layout that I'm using is the layout that I made. So this is the default layout, and I just split this panel, put these more tabs here, and split. Made this panel smaller, and then I made the object network view here. So that's how I like it. Yeah, I just talk to side effects. They should give you the way to make it work. I don't know. If it's the same computer, I think it should work. Shops is just allowed for animation, actually. and for animating stuff. So the IK, all the IK solvers are in Chops. You can see here. There's an IK solver here, an inverse kinematic solver here. So the IK happens here in Shops. So it's used for a lot of stuff. Shops, actually, you can use it for reading reading in from files from let's say, where is that thing that I wanna, from files, from images, from geometry. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Chops, but basically it's about controlling animation channels. Any chance we can dive into animation and poses? Yes, we can do that sometime. I'm waiting to do a whole thing on animation. Can you customize the color grid plan, colors and units? Yes, you can, but it's not simple. It's not simple to modify those colors. So there's no colors here, but yeah, you can customize it, but it's not that simple. You need to modify files in your Houdini folder. Your Houdini folder in config, there would be some files that you can modify. Like this is the one that I'm using. No, this is the one that I'm using. But it's just like modifying values like this. It's not a visual thingy. But I'm sure the grid it's here somewhere. No. So maybe it's not possible. I don't know. I never changed that color. Can I do tutorial mocap data? I'm not really familiar with mocap data, so maybe it's not. I'm not the right person for that because I've never worked with mocap data. It's something that I haven't done, so I might not be the right person for that. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, guys. How can I know if my Houdini is Houdini FX or Core or other version? Your license will tell you. Your license, it's the one that dictates what version of Houdini you're using. So see your license, and your license, it's gonna tell you what version of Houdini you have. All right, guys. I will see you next time. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, and I'm gonna go and solve more of the issues that I have here. All right. I will see you next time. Thank you for being here, and bye bye.